All right, everyone, I'm going to call the docket. When I call the docket, please let me know that you are here. Dendric Campbell is in custody. Javier Herrera, custody. Robert Andrade, custody. Bobby Rivera.
Present.
I'm sorry. Two Bobby Rivera. So you have to call by the last.
Oh, Bobby Gomez Rivera. Thank you.
Sorry.
Oh, no, no problem. Daniel Mestas. Daniel Mestas. All right, thank you. Cesar Gutierrez.
Present, Your Honor.
Where is he? All right, everyone, you need to stand when your name is called.
Here, please.
Ruiz Espinosa. All right. Jose Amador.
In custody.
Daniel Rodriguez, custody. Anthony Villarreal, if you're here, your case has been reset for July 16th at your attorney's request. Samuel Albert, custody. Christian Chavez. Mykesha Ciphers. Frank Solis. Frank Edward Solis. Michael Shoemaker. Joseph Ramirez. Renee Esparza. Pedro Guerra, custody. Matthew Longoria. William Wadill. Okay. Axel Ramirez. I think we may have taken care of that already. Okay. Renee Esparza.
Present, Counsel.
Leila Tanton.
In custody, Your Honor.
In custody is Israel Cortez. Missy Torres. Bobby Joe Rivera, custody. Is there anyone present and your name was not called? All right, yes, sir. Fernando what? Do you know who your attorney is or have your SIT number? All right, just have a seat. We'll get with you. Anyone else on this side? Over here. I'm sorry? Debbie Jimenez or Debbie Flores? Do you know your case number or SIT number? Do you know who your attorney is? All right, just have a seat. We'll get with you. Yes.
Judge, we're outside conferring.
Oh, Frank Solis?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, everyone, you know the rules. Do not approach unless you've conferred with the state and conferred with your client. If your client is in custody, yes, your client needs to be brought out. We're going to take you up in the order of appearance. The only exception is if an interpreter is needed, and an interpreter will be needed if your client wishes to speak with the court in a language other than English. Christian Chavez, come forward.
Not here yet, Judge. I just emailed him.
All right, thank you.
Text him to come back.
All right, hello. All right, who's the defense attorney on Christian Chavez?
Mount.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I saw Bob Barron's walking up with you, so I thought you were his client.
Oh.
Just have a seat. We'll take you up once your attorney comes back. All right. Are the attorneys here on Joseph Ramirez?
And Joseph's in custody.
All right. And who is his attorney? I'm sorry, you're his attorney. Who's the state?
I can't remember his name. He's bald, but it's not.
Jason?
No, not Jason.
Andrew.
Andrew? All right, just have a seat and we'll take your case up as soon as they
And
arrive.
just FYI, Judge, it's an agreed, like as
Oh,
far
I
as-
know. I still, for legal reasons, I still have to put certain things on the record.
Thank
All right,
you.
as soon as they come in, just approach. Renee Esparza,
We're doing that.
I think there's two Renee Esparzas.
Renee Rodrigo Esparza. We have a lot of two on the docket today.
Kind of interesting. Judge, this is just a request for permission to travel.
All right. Who were you conferring with for the
I
state?
spoke with Daniel briefly.
All right, Daniel, are you ready to proceed on Renee Esparza? All right, do you have any objections to this continuing motion to travel? All right, we'll go on the record. The court is calling 2023 CR 10492, State of Texas versus Renee Rodrigo Esparza. Can I have the parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Esparza for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Tim Roundtree.
All right, and are you Mr. Esparza?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the defense has filed a motion for continuing permission to travel for business. Do you have any objections, state?
No, Your Honor.
All right. All right, then the motion will be granted.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay.
You too.
Judge, the state's here now.
Okay, just give me one moment and I will take that up. All right. All right, Joseph Ramirez, if you come down. We're going to go on the record. The court is calling 2021 CR 8084B, State of Texas versus Joseph Ramirez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Andrew Harris Edelman.
For the defense?
Albert Chidas for Mr. Ramirez.
And are you Mr. Ramirez? Council has filed a motion to set bond. State, have you had a chance to review the motion?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state, are you in agreement with the motion to set the bond at $20,000?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are there any requests for conditions?
No.
All right. The court will note for the record that the defendant is currently on probation with the court. The court is aware of the defendant's history. The court is aware of the defendant's health issues, mental health issues, if they exist, which they do not. The court is aware of his mental health issues, which they do exist. The court is aware of his physical condition as well. The court will grant your motion to set bond at $20,000.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, when you're released, you will need to make sure that you check in with probation.
Yes.
Probation technically will not supervise you, I have learned, unless the motion to revoke community supervision is heard. Ms. Ferguson, this is set for July 8th. Could you provide Mr. Ramirez with a reset form? And you'll need to be here on July 8th at 9 a.m. for a contested hearing. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
No,
just let you
know we're ready on the.
Yes, thank you.
Let me find out.
Are the parties here in Christian Chavez? Okay, all right, thank you. Are the parties here on Daniel Rodriguez? Is the attorney here for Daniel Rodriguez? All right, if you'll grab him.
Paul says he turned one in for Solis, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, are the parties ready on Daniel Rodriguez? All right, Mr. Rodriguez, you need to come forward. Court is calling 2024 CR 3422, State of Texas versus Daniel Rodriguez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? For the defense?
For Mr. Rodriguez.
And are you Daniel Rodriguez?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Rodriguez, did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Waiting on the visual.
Any objection?
None.
Mr. Rodriguez, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams? That's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rodriguez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 10 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. There are no applications, and the state will take in consideration NIGHTMAG number 764122. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that are filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counselor, there been any such motion?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State, any evidence?
Contained in Exhibit 1 of attachments, Your Honor.
No objection.
All right. And the NIGHTMAG number, what case is that? What's the charge and the NIGHTMAG number that's being taken in consideration?
Possession 1 to 4, I believe.
All right. All right. You may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney?
Yes,
Did
ma'am.
you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We would like the court to follow the plea agreement, Judge. It was a timely plea of guilty and a resolution of the case and acceptance of responsibility.
All right. And what is I see in the report that he was on, he had a parole violation. So what is the cause number of that?
I do not know, Judge, what it is.
Do you know which case you're on parole for? Is it the previous possession case?
It's the felony possession of a firearm,
Okay. And how old are you?
39.
All right, so you're 30. And for you to be on parole means you've been to prison before, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And how long were you in prison before?
18 months.
18 months? And how much time do you have left on your sentence?
I would have discharged October of this year.
All right, so do you have children?
No, ma'am.
All right, that's a good thing because you got to get your life together. So you need to make a decision on, do you want to spend the rest of your life in prison? Because if you do, Texas will accommodate you. There's always a place for somebody at the prison or a place for somebody at the Bexar County Jail. You understand?
I understand that.
All right, do you have any family support?
Yes, ma'am.
His mom and dad are here in the courtroom. They've been here every sitting that I've been with Mr. Rodriguez. He had previous counsel, but I have been counseling with the family, keeping them up to date, and I invited him to be here this morning for this proceeding.
All right. So do you love your mom and dad?
Very much.
Well, you need to start showing it because guess what? This is breaking their heart. Now, you know, some parents maybe need to practice tough love and say, you know what, you're in prison. We'll see you when we get out. We're not going to put any money on your books. We're not going to write you any letters. But I'm sure your parents are going to meet you at the prison, come visit you on visiting day, put money on your books and all of that. So you need to start respecting their time and what they're doing because guess what? Your parents, they're not going to be on the planet forever. You understand? And what I can tell you is what my mom always tells me. I always say, Mom, I hope I go before you. She's like, no, Lord, no. Your parents want to go before you. And if they go before you and pass on from this world, guess what? You're going to be by yourself and there's not going to be somebody visiting you at the prison and putting money on your books. You understand? You're going to have to start making better decisions and stop chasing fast money. And you can't build your happiness off someone else's misery. And these drugs just contributing to somebody else's misery. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So get your life together. Court is going to find you guilty. The court is going to sentence you to a $1,500 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. The court is going to take in consideration night mag number 764122. If you have a drug problem, I'll ask for the therapeutic community, but you'll need to ask them for it because I have no jurisdiction to order that for you. You understand? I can only request it. This will run concurrent with 2021 CR 0095W. And the court will sentence you to 9 years in the prison and give you credit for any time served. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. We can go off the record. Giving you 9 years instead of 10, that wasn't for you, that was for your parents. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Proceeding.
Who is here on Frank Edward Solis, the fifth?
We're ready.
All right. Court is calling 2021 CR 6025, State of Texas versus Frank Edward Solis the fifth. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Christopher Ramos and Paul Acevedo for the defense.
And are you Mr. Solis?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorneys? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Frank Edward Solis the fifth who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 2021 CR 6025? Thank you. For the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams on August 19, 2021 for a period of 5 years. Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. Violated condition number 5 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Frank Edward Solis V Did the mayor fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of April, August, November, December 2023 in violation of condition number 5?
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Your Honor, we'll waive the remaining violated conditions.
Any objection?
No objection.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
True.
No, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5,
Yes.
knowing that I could sentence you to prison to 20 years?
No.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your Honor, it's to deny the motion, continue the individual was deferred. Amend the conditions to include GPS for 90 days. Continue with field visits every over the course of those 90 days. Bi-weekly drug testing for 90 days with recovery healthcare.
All right. You want to raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Frank Edward Solis the fifth.
All right, why are you not reporting?
I was going through grievance, ma'am. My stepdad currently going to be passing away. He had a stroke, and I've been dealing with that. It's been a rough patch in my life. He raised me. I've just been going through it with that. It kind of hit a depression, and just not reporting. It's kind of life just, was just passing by.
Why didn't you pick up the phone and call probation if you were going through something? I tell everybody if there's an issue, just call your probation officer. Now we're here with you having never reported.
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
No, I mean, I know you understand now, but my question is, why didn't you?
I just feel like, I didn't have the energy. I know I should have. I made a mistake, and like I said, it was
No, you made choices.
Yes, ma'am.
Any objection to the court reviewing the court summary?
No objection, Judge.
All right, because this is what it says in the court summary. And probation, I guess they're doing this progressive sanction method. So they're recommending this, and they say that you failed to do your 60 hours of community service restitution. They say you're never home for your home visit. So where are you? Because they say you're never home for your home visits.
I'm working. I work 2 jobs, ma'am. I have 2 children. I'm actively involved in their lives.
All right, so during the time that you were not reporting for probation, how many days work did you miss?
I didn't miss work, ma'am.
You didn't miss that, but you missed reporting to probation where I could send you to prison for 20 years. And here's the thing, I understand everybody goes through different trauma. Maybe they have somebody who's in hospice, but they still pick up on the phone and call. And I guarantee you, if you had someone who was in hospice or going through things, you wouldn't just not show up for your job and then come back 6 or 8 months later expecting your job to be there and tell them I was going through things. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
And they say your last negative UA was June 3rd. So has he done a UA today?
No, Judge.
All right, if you're tested today, what are the results going to be?
Be clean, ma'am.
All right, let's UA him. And I'll come back and make my decision.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, who's here on Daniel Mestas? Who's here for Daniel Mestas? All right, are you all ready? Hi, long time no see.
I know.
Did you finish the trial?
No, that's next week. Last week I had
Okay, All right.
this. And the arrow sat on the floor.
all right, so do you have all the discovery?
No, Your Honor, and the reason is that there's been additional cases filed. There's there's one that's unindicted that was heard it's gonna be coming down.
And then there's also two
Misdemeanor.
non-family violence cases that he picked up last month, Judge.
All right, so the additional cases, what are those charges?
One is, so there's a pending indictment for assault second with a different victim. There's a pending indictment for stalking, and then there's a possession that's from last month and one other that I can't think of. That's,
Terrorist offense.
which one?
Terrorist offense.
Terrorist offense
Okay.
already been filed. I feel like there's one other CTP one that just got picked up last month.
All right, so counsel, are you the attorney on all of those cases?
I believe so.
All right. So Norma, there's a judge's warrant that I placed upon him. Is that judge's warrant still active? It should be a judge's warrant and remanded without bond on this case.
I believe so.
No problem. So is it still there?
He's already been booked in on the warrant there, so the warrant wouldn't be active, he's already booked in on them.
No, I just want to make sure that that warrant is not lifted. Usually they know not to lift it when I say judge's warrant.
Yeah, correct.
All right. So if I can have this recalled, and how much time do you all think before she can have the discovery? I know with the possession case, there are labs.
Yeah, it'll take a minute. The other one, we double check that one, Judge. Already screwed away. Probably 30 days for the other one,
All right.
because I know it wasn't an edit case.
All right. Can I get a 30-day reset on his case, please?
Yes, ma'am, it'll be July 16th.
July 16th?
Yes.
All right, we'll be back on July 16th for discovery, and state you need to be prepared to make an offer.
Yes, Judge.
All right, is there anything else?
Your Honor, they also have him under the last name of Chapa.
Yeah, he has an AKA.
All right, so he doesn't have any
It is chopped.
cases listed for Choppa, does he? I guess he
We
does.
couldn't find him this morning, so.
Yeah, there's cases listed under 2 last names.
Okay.
We'll have to figure out how to get it all
They're
over.
supposed to fix it last time, because that isn't.
All right, we will fix it.
All right, is there anything else?
Nothing further this time, right now.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Only control.
Otilio Espinosa Ruiz.
Good morning,
Good morning. Who's the prosecutor on this? Is injury to elderly?
Mr. Escobar. He's on his way up there.
All right, do you have all the discovery now?
I just received some additional discovery this morning, Your Honor, in the form of some discs and my flash drive. I just need additional time to review that with Mr. Espinosa, and then we'll confirm with the state and see if any resolutions may be made.
All right, and state, have you previously tendered an offer?
So.
There was an offer in there, Your Honor. So I'll review that with Mr. Espinosa as well.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, Espinosa, if I can have a 3-week reset for a plea deadline date?
July 8th.
All right, July 8th.
Yes, ma'am.
That will be your plea deadline date. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Are you all ready on Mykesha Ciphers? All right, so are we here for a motion to revoke? What are we here for?
We are, and prosecution has asked us to provide additional documentation. I would request a continuance to do that, Your Honor.
All right, And what is going to happen with this new number one that's in the motion?
It has been dismissed, Your Honor.
Okay. So then the only thing in the motion to revoke is, I guess, fine, community service hours.
The documentation that's been requested is that she had an accident with an 18-wheeler and was undergoing therapy, and we're going to present the evidence to the prosecution showing that she was given a waive, if you will, for a period of time while she was going through therapy on it.
All right. So state, without that documentation, are you going to be asking for revocation?
Yes, Your
All right. And probation, what is going to be your recommendation in this case?
Without the documentation.
All right. How long is it going to take you to provide documentation?
She lives in Houston. I don't know how long it's going to take to put that together. She tells me it shouldn't take too long. A week to 2 weeks.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, recall this for a contested hearing in 3 weeks.
Yes. I can do it.
I
All right.
would have picked it myself.
All right, we'll be back on July 9th. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Yes.
Okay.
Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes,
Thank you, Your Honor.
you're welcome. All right, who is here on Bobby Joe Rivera? Court is calling 2024 CR 5258, State of Texas versus Bobby Joe Rivera. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Merits, Judge.
And are you Bobby Joe Rivera?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Rivera, did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Rivera, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Did you understand you're charged by indictment with theft under $2,500 in hands? That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, and I believe he's competent to enter his plea.
Do you believe he was sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Mr. Rivera, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Sorry?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 9 months in the state jail facility, and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Judge.
State, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions, that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence.
Contained in Exhibit 1 attachments, Your Honor.
No objection.
Right, state you may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it at all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We just asked you to follow the plea bargain, Your Honor.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Bobby Joe Rivera.
All right, why do you keep stealing?
I had a drug habit.
All right, so what's your drug that you use? All right, that's a tough drug to kick. All right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to follow your agreement. I'm going to find you guilty, sentence you to 9 months in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. There's to be no contact with Walmart. And I'll request the therapeutic community for you. They will be able to address any drug issues that you may have. I can't force them to place you in the program, but will have in the judgment that I've requested it for you, but you'll need to ask for it as well. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
When you're ultimately released from the state jail facility, people always have this idea that they're going to stay clean and sober, but then once they go back to the same environment, they start using it again. So when you're released from the state jail facility, if I'm still here, you can come back to this court and I will direct you to a sober living house, okay?
Mhm.
All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We don't have a deal. We're just gonna sit in the trial. Wow. No. I figured you would want that. I have your son. No.
Oh, Frank Solis? Who left? Frank Solis the fifth?
Who's that?
All right.
There he is right there.
Oh, okay. Michelle, you had faith. Cesar Gutierrez? All right, is there a warrant for Mr. Gutierrez? Or did he make bond? It's 2024 CR 1109.
Give me 1 second, guys. I'm doing the directive on another case and I'm not taking it.
Sure.
I'll be on just a second. So you
Alright.
okay for wording that?
It's 2024 CR 1109, because he had a bond forfeiture on March 5th.
I believe he's bonded out since then, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yeah, he has no warrant.
All right. All right, because you don't want to be walking around and somebody grabs you.
Yep.
And when I say grabs you, police brings you back to court, okay? All right, who's the prosecutor on Cesar Gutierrez?
Andrew,
Andrew? Okay. Hello. So defense, have you received all the discovery from the state?
I believe I have, Your Honor.
State, were you able to tender an offer?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. Give me a plea deadline on this case in 3 weeks. How old are you, sir?
42.
All right, so we're going to give you a plea deadline date. At that time, you can come back and let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. If you choose not to, or you all are unable to reach an agreement, we'll set you for a jury trial.
Your Honor, my client has declined the offer at this time.
All right, so here's the thing. If you're declining the offer and you don't want time to think about it, it's going to be set for jury trial, and the court will not consider any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plead open to the court. So which would you prefer?
3 weeks to consider it?
Yeah.
It'll take 3 weeks, Your Honor.
All right, 3-week reset for plea deadline date.
Might be.
All right, we'll bring you back on July 8th. And at that time, you'll need to let the court know whether or not you wish a jury trial or you all have reached an agreement. All right, thank you for dressing appropriately for court. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused. Thank you.
Yeah, me too, John.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hello. All right, everyone, the court is going to take its lunch break at 12. So everyone move with the plan and the purpose.
Yes.
Is it Christian?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Christian Chavez? Robert, I knew once I made that announcement, everybody would start.
It's like, I was just sitting there zoning out. So Judge, this is my first setting.
Okay.
I gave notice, but it didn't show up on the system, not surprisingly enough. So I emailed a copy to Norma and I talked to Jason about some discovery issues. I have to pick up med records.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, since I noticed that there are medical records, give me a reset for discovery for 45 days.
Perfect. A mess.
I think August 1st.
That works perfect for me.
All right, we'll be back on August 1st. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused, and thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Now that you put that in the universe, it's probably going to take a week.
They had 716 people waiting for me Friday morning.
Oh.
I'd like to file a complaint.
Okay.
Okay.
Where?
In the. Oh, yeah, it's on the laptop. Okay. Black print.
I had an idea. You know the other county, on the setting forms, they put appropriate court attire required. Why can't we do that? I mean, at least be a start, better than
Yes.
pajamas and house shoes.
Oh, my gosh, the pajamas and the house shoes.
I
Yeah.
can show up an atrocity who was wearing athletic shorts and a sweatshirt and hoodie. I'm like, you wore like appropriate attire all the time I was with my mom.
Well, you know, I had a client once and I told him, you're not dressed appropriately, just do slacks and a shirt. And you know what his response to me was? I'm not trying to impress anybody. And I said,
Start now.
I said, your friends are not going to be on our jury trial. So I think I would always tell my client, consider yourself a book. You want the cover to be such that people are interested in reading it.
I always tell them, don't try to fool anybody, like, don't do the whole suit deal if you don't leave the name tag on,
Mhm.
but at least, you know, don't wear your Budweiser shirt on your DWI case.
Ah, yes. Yes. Oh, it was? Okay, thank you. Which page is he on? All right, thank you.
Primary capitals, the formats. And actually a lot more, lot less time.
And who is the attorney on Jose Amador? Because on the docket sheet, it says attorney unknown. All right, thank you.
He doesn't have it. Attorneys. Let me check on C, just make sure.
Mhm. And Deputy Laura, could you have Jose Amador brought out? All right, so can you call Orlando? I think he was here. Okay, Deputy Laura, there was a shipwreck in Italy. It's a cruise. And so they said there were 2 shipwrecks off Italy and 64 people are missing.
Good thing I'm not going to it. What boat was it, Judge?
I'm looking to see. Okay, they said that one of the ships left Turkey 8 days earlier, caught fire, and was overturned. And they've brought out merchant vessels to try to help. And then they had a second shipwreck. And this article doesn't read well, so I have no idea who that was. Oh, they were aid workers. Okay, it wasn't a cruise ship.
harassment. Not against you, you go downstairs, because it's- Oh, no, she's gonna-
It does. I'm saying.
Of course, we're instead of check on.
And are we have. Yeah.
That's not a good thing. Yeah, but we've got the file, Dendric Campbell. He has been restored to competency. No, he's in custody. Yeah. And he's not here yet. No, don't see him yet. But no, there he is. Dendric Campbell. Yeah, he's out here, excuse me. Dendric Campbell. Yeah. That's not. There's others. This is an optional document.
Can I put my file in line to speak with the judge, Leila Tanton?
Hi.
I like your new hairstyle.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Great.
All right, Leila Tanton.
Hi, Judge.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Good. This is a status check, so I haven't spoken with the DAs about this, because Ms. Tanton's been on probation, and I've been speaking with Sean about it, but she was placed on probation, was kept in custody to go to DDRS.
Yes.
Significant time passed. Unfortunately, she did pick up a misdemeanor case, which then kicked her out of line. We came back to court. We resolved all of that in April. And got her back in line for DDRF, and here we are in June. and she has not left yet for DDRF. As of yesterday, she is 6th in line for a bed, but given she's been in custody, I want to say at least 9 months at this point, maybe longer, waiting for a bed. And so I didn't know if the court would consider amending not to require her to go to DDF. She has a place to live with her mother out of county, which the court has, I think, already approved. But she spent a lot of time in custody for a probation case, you know.
All right, so part of the reasons why you had extra time waiting for DDRF, that's 100% on you because you picked up a new charge. You understand that?
Yes.
All right, so probation, where are we on DDRF?
Judge, the report that was sent to me is she is 6th in line. They do not give us a timeline on when it's gonna happen. I can tell you on the
6th or 7th of June, she was
She was
10th in
10th in
line.
line.
So
So-
4 people have left.
4 people have left
Yeah.
since then, so I'm hoping within the next couple of weeks, she would be already placed.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna recall this in 2 weeks.
Okay.
In 2 weeks, if she's not transferred to DDRF as a backup, is her mom here in Bear County or no?
Her mom is not, I want to say, near Houston, yeah.
All right,
Houston.
so just in case DDRF hasn't picked her up, I would like to have her mom by Zoom.
But we can definitely do that.
And then we'll see if her mother understands what the issues are and whether that would be a good placement or not.
Of course, yes. That sounds good.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, can you recall this in 2 weeks, please?
Thank you so much. Deb.
Oh, you're welcome.
Are you going to do it in July 1st?
Yeah.
All right.
Do you want to put it on?
Sure.
All right, so what we're gonna do, this is the plan. We're gonna come back on July 1st. If you're already in DDRF, you won't be here. You'll be in DDRF. But yes,
Oh, I'm so sorry.
yes,
Can we do July 2nd instead?
oh, sure.
Thank you.
All right, so here's the plan, a new plan. We're gonna come back on July 2nd. If you've been transferred to DDRF, you won't be here. You'll be at DDRF. If you have not been transferred to DDRF, then your mom will be here by Zoom as a backup because I don't like to put people in environments that may not be conducive to them being successful on probation. And the court's main concern is mental health.
Right.
All right. So that's where we are.
Perfect.
Anything else we need?
Not today, Your Honor.
All
Thank you
right.
for your time.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. All right. Dendric Campbell, are you all ready?
Judge, I need to approach.
Yes.
My
Dendric Campbell, will you come down? And when you come down, you're going to tell me how to pronounce your name correctly. Is it Dendric?
There it is.
Dendric. Okay, what's happening?
Your Honor, I've just conferred with the state and my client was found competent, restored back in March.
Okay.
We've been in contact with the family and the witnesses. We're asking the court for a short reset of discussions for the prosecution. For the family to come in and talk to the state about their position in this case.
All right.
We've also conveyed a new offer, Your Honors.
All right. Is there no way somebody can pick up the phone to talk to the family?
We can, right now, Marina and Zach are in pre-trials,
Okay.
but that's why we just went the short one. We should be able to get it
Judge,
done.
maybe 10 or 12 days out, and it
Oh.
probably will settle and dispose of the case.
Well, I don't really want to do 10 or 12 days out because he was restored to competency. You're saying in March?
March, yes, ma'am.
All right. So that's an
Would it
issue,
be
but
the end of the week, Your Honor.
all right, let's
Or
do
the beginning of next
let me see.
It's your world, Judge, you tell me.
week.
All right, Norma, can we recall this back for the 24th?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to come back on the 24th because I don't want you just staying at the Bear County Jail, okay?
All right.
All right, do you have any questions about anything?
No.
All right, we're going to bring you back on the 24th and then they're going to see if they can get in contact with your family. All All right, thank you.
Thank you,
And-
Judge. May I be excused?
You may be excused, but here's the thing, everyone. If there's an issue, they can always zoom in and you all can go into a breakout room and talk to them that way.
Okay, Judge.
All right.
We'll make sure they're available, Judge.
All right, thank you. Shoemaker. Hello,
Morning, Judge. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I remember this case. Did you bring the motions for me?
I spoke with the coordinator. I can go get a copy of them real quick if the court would like them.
Okay, because yeah, I need a copy. I don't have one in my file.
Sure, that's what I was checking on. So let me go get that real quick for you and then we'll be ready.
All right, sure. Just have a seat.
Thank you, Judge.
Whenever you all are ready, I'm Mr. Solis. Let the court know.
He's in the back.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. You want anything back? Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Yes. Right, is that pronounced? Yeah. Doesn't have. All right, I don't know, I thought it was really all that. It's all that. Now just give them. No, no. Yeah. Nice. This is.
Yes, whenever you can pull it from. Thank you. Good morning. Jim.
Good morning. Sure. Okay, thanks. Israel Cortez. All right. Hello, Mr. Cortez.
Hello, Your Honor.
All right, so today is the plea deadline date, is that correct?
Correct.
All right, so were you all able to reach an agreement or no?
We have not been able to.
All right. So how long do y'all expect the trial to last?
3 to 4 days.
3 to 4 days? All right, if y'all confer with Ms. Ferguson on a jury trial date and then come back and let me know.
Okay.
All right, do you have any questions about anything? All right, and counsel, if you all could sign a discovery acknowledgement before you leave.
Sure.
All right, so if you all confer on a date, and if you'll have a seat, and we'll have a date for jury trial for you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
So how's it going?
Perfect.
Okay. Oh, I can't complain. You know, any day to be alive on the planet and my family is with me, it's awesome. So,
Hey, when you get a minute, there's a different case, a different thing that I need to talk to you about in the back,
yeah, okay.
whenever you have time.
All right, just let me know whenever you're ready.
Okay, well, let's get a date and then I'll check.
Okay, sure. Samuel Albert? Yes. All right, Mr. Albert? Oh, come down, please. No problem. All right, hello.
How you doing, Leila?
I'm doing, oh, great. How are you doing? Okay. All right, so where are we on discovery?
Good morning, Judge. So we have all the discovery. I've been working with the state on making sure we have the discovery for all the cases, including some that may have been indicted.
Mhm.
So let the state know that I would check in with them in the afternoon. We're still working through this,
Okay,
but as of now, we have the discovery on the currently indicted cases.
all right. And what are the other cases that are outstanding? Is it more of the same offenses?
Yes, Your Honor, more of the same.
All right. And do y'all know when you'll have the other cases uploaded in the system?
Well, Judge, I think there should only be 3, but they're saying there's 6
Mhm.
on Odyssey. On JD, it says there's only 3. And I'm a little confused because it's all, some of them are on the same offense date, and we know that some of that is accurate.
Mm.
However, I think I'm gonna have to go to intake, find the files and talk to the person that's the intake attorney.
Odyssey is like Star Trek, the series, going boldly where no man has gone before. So
Actually, no one needs to
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
They're making us.
they're like, yeah,
That's true.
we're being forced to go.
Yes.
All right, so then what I'll do, Mr. Albert, I know you're in custody, but I'm going to give them a 45-day reset to make sure they have everything. If your attorney has everything before then and he wants to come back and place this on the docket, he can place it on the docket early. But I just don't want us to keep coming back if all the discovery has not been given to him, okay? All right, Ms.
Just so the court knows and my client knows as well, I've been in contact with the state regarding a possible plea agreement.
Mhm.
I just wanted him to know, Mr. Samuel, to know that. But as his lawyer, I need to make sure that we have all the discovery. We're conferring to make sure we could reach some sort of resolution.
Okay, and let me just tell you, people think I always know the facts of all these cases, but I don't know the facts of any of them unless there's been a motion suppressed or unless we're in jury trial. I've been a defense attorney, I've been a prosecutor, and let me just tell you, you don't want to, if y'all were to come to an agreement, work out an agreement and for 3 cases, and then you find out there are 8. And then guess what? You may be arrested or something else may occur. You may end up with a different attorney. And then you're just walking around one day, minding your own business, and 8 cases are dropped on you. So your attorney's trying to make sure they have everything so they can make good decisions and tell you, this is what I think would be in your best interest. You understand? So I realize people want to get out of jail yesterday. but it's in your best interest that I give him a 45-day reset. And like I said, if he wants you brought back sooner, if he discovers he has all discovery over the weekend and he wants to bring you back on Tuesday, Monday would be too soon because the deputies wouldn't be able to get you here. But if he wants to bring you back Tuesday, all he has to do is come back to the court and we'll put you down for Tuesday. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So we have to practice a little bit of patience.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. What date for 45 days? All right. So we'll say August 1st. All right.
Oh, yeah, I got it. But I mean, I gotta get let me get the.
Yes.
We're ready on Solis.
All right. Just give me a moment. Yes. All right. Thank you. All right. And let me just take up the matter with Cortez. Do we have a date for them yet?
Oh, I'm waiting on Jason.
Okay.
It's getting the discovery agreement.
All right. So once you all do that, then just approach and we can go discuss whatever needs to be
Thank
discussed. You're welcome. All right. Who is here on Solis? We're back on the record in 2022 CR 6025, State of Texas versus Frank Edward Solis V. We were on recess so that he could perform a UA probation. What are the results?
Negative, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
I'm very glad for you that it was negative. Otherwise, things potentially would be going in a different direction. All right, thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. I do have one other request.
Yes.
Mr. Solis made a donation to the San Antonio Food Bank in an effort to pay off his community service hours. That was done without the court's permission, of course. And our officer has not been able to send in the request for you to give him credit. So I respectfully ask that you give him credit for his community service hours based on his donation of $320.
All right, well, the court does $7.25 an hour, I believe.
Yes, Judge.
And 40 hours of his community service hours were supposed to be waived if he attended some sort of trial, trade school certification. Did he ever do that or no?
Go ahead.
Sorry, no, ma'am, it was, if I received my COVID vaccine, which I did receive the COVID vaccine. I emailed it to my probation officer and it's definitely on record.
All right. And so just so the record is clear, because I don't want anyone to think that the court is ordering or ordered people to get the COVID vaccination. During the time when we had COVID and people were on lockdown, there was no place for people to do community service hours. So I would tell people, this is the number of community service hours you need to do. You can pay it off, or if you want to get the COVID vaccination, you can, and the court will consider that. But the reason why the court was doing that is because there was no place to do community service hours. I think all parties were aware of that at that time. All right, so I'll give him credit for doing that. All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court will deny the motion, alter and amend conditions. Court is going to extend you for 6 months. You're going to be available for field visits. If you miss a field visit, they're going to file a motion to revoke. Do you understand? So there's going to be field visits 1 time per month for 4 months. There's going to be the UA hotline until further notice. Probation, I know that both parties, probation and state, is asking for GPS. And I'm assuming you're asking for GPS because y'all want to make sure that he reports. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
And-
However, Judge, we can do maybe, bi-weekly reporting for 60 days.
Yes.
That would be excellent, Judge.
All right, because I realize that he has children because I ordered parenting classes.
Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, he completed those.
Did you complete those?
Yes.
What did you learn?
I learned to be very patient with my children. I learned to be available and to communicate and just to be there. Just being there is the most important thing you can do, not to be absent.
All right, and then the court will do bi-weekly reporting for 6 months. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
6 months, Judge?
Yes, 6 months.
Nothing else.
Is there anything else you need from the court?
Judge, that's it. We just would like to quote them to know that he does have some redeeming value. He's done everything. He's paid off his probation. He's done all his classes, and he just had some stupid decision-making processes and haven't paid the price.
And Judge, he's working a lot. He has an overnight shift, graveyard shift, which is primary source of income. He repairs parking lots and deals with the landscaping at night because parking lots are empty. And then he has a part-time job repairing cars for a dealership, which the dealership pays him per car. So he's incredibly busy, which is why I think he was able to pay off all his fines and he was able to pay off his community service, at least make that. So we're grateful for this opportunity for him to speak on.
All right, so we can do bi-weekly reporting by Zoom. And then if he completes everything and there are no issues, you can always come back to request early termination, but the court is not going to consider any early termination until 6 months have at least passed.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
All right, is there anything else?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank
All
you,
right.
ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
And everyone else, I'll take you up in just a moment. I'm trying to get a trial date for this case.
To sign it.
Yeah.
So I would like, in constant contact with the complainant. I have a name. What last name? T-U-A. First name. O-A-N-G.
All right, what date?
We're still looking at calendars.
Okay.
T-U-A-N.
Sounds like people have calendars that are booked. Don't push us to Christmas.
Last name, H-O-A.
I'm being pushed to Christmas.
December 26th, Judge. That's what we're agreeing on.
Oh, well, why don't we just make it on December 25th then, or the 24th? All right, let's put it at the, or can we place it at the beginning of December?
Okay.
That's the 9th.
2 weeks.
Okay, so like,
Or the 10th.
sorry, I just like.
That's the only date that is open.
December 10th?
December 10th.
All right, so let's do this. Let's bring him back for trial on December 9th. We won't be doing jury selection on December 9th, but it's just to make sure that there are no motions or anything like that to be heard.
So what's gonna be?
Mr. Israel, we're gonna bring you back on December 9th for jury trial. That's as soon as we can place you because we have other cases before yours, okay? You're welcome.
He needs parent.
All right.
Hey, it doesn't go down without.
Preston Lee,
Thank you.
hello. So where are we? He was by Zoom, right?
No, this is off the docket. Today it's set for June 24th.
Yes.
I have to attend a conference a municipal judges conference
Sure.
on that day in Odessa, so I can't appear. This also was a PTD application. We turned in the contract. I did just send up a follow-up email to see where they are in terms of the intake, and I CC Norma on it. So if we could get maybe a 30-day reset.
Well, let's do this. So we can have your client come in, and then if it's been dismissed, it's been dismissed.
You think it'll be dismissed in the next week?
I mean, it's possible,
Because
because I see that they have everything on the
Yes,
PTD.
yeah, I've
And they
done
have that
everything.
since,
May.
yes, so
Yes, I
it's
know.
possible. So I would suggest keeping it for the 24th, because if everything is done, it's done. If not,
I just feel bad at him taking off work if it's just gonna be reset to come back into.
no,
You know
I
what
mean,
I-
no, here's the thing. It'll be set for the 24th.
Right,
And if it turns out it's not
Right, he
dismissed,
doesn't
it'll be
have to come.
it'll be another 30 days.
but he would still have to come in to get the reset. Is there any way the court might view them?
No.
I'd rather be here with him than, I mean, if we, even if we did it for later on in the week. No, you want the 20?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a
He'll be fine.
responsive client, I mean,
No, he'll be fine.
so he can just check in with Norma
Yes.
first thing in the morning and she'll reset it, right?
Yes, and I'll put a notation down and just have him come in and check in immediately.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you, Jim. Alright.
Bobby Gomez Rivera. Michael Shoemaker. Oh, he's at the restroom. Just a second. Everyone, the court is taking its break at noon.
That's our phone number. Frank, that's right. 301-335-8610. Yeah. She lost her job yesterday. She's panicked because she thinks she's gonna lose her house or something. So now she's really.
Okay, and then we have, I'm sorry, I haven't started yet.
Norman, we completed Daniel Rodriguez, didn't we? On page 3, Eddie Garcia's client?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Shoemaker's back. Good.
She.
Okay, Shoemaker.
Notification. It's when press.
Okay.
Have the report. Why can't we respond? He discovered the downs, haven't seen it. He is something, who does the report. He absolutely survived.
Okay.
The facts.
Okay.
She got it.
All right. Who's the prosecutor you were speaking to? All right, who's the prosecutor on Michael Shoemaker? Well, I haven't called the case yet, but this is a motion to reconsider. Have you had a chance to review? Sorry, counsel.
No, it's okay. Judge.
All right, if you'll step right back, they're gonna review things, and Daniel, if y'all need to speak with probation.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Bobby Gomez Rivera, is the attorney here for Bobby Gomez Rivera?
Judge, he hired a new attorney for non-payment.
Okay,
So he said it's his. I know, but he's on talking to him on the side.
okay.
This is, I'll let you read this. Yeah.
This guy's on track.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for my hey, good morning. How's it going? Isn't that correct? Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, in theory,
Yes. Because we need to see where we are on that, and that needs to be set. Hello.
Hey, Judge, we have conferred with the state.
All right. All right, Mr. Shoemaker, come down. Court is calling 2019 CR 11017W, State of Texas versus Michael Shoemaker. Could I have parties announced for the record?
Daniel Escobar for the state. Sean Henderson for the defense.
All right, and are you Mr. Shoemaker?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I pronouncing it right? Is it Shoemaker or Shoemaker?
Shoemaker.
All right, you're Mr. Shoemaker.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're here on a motion to reconsider.
Yes, Judge. Defense filed that motion. We were here about a week ago, Judge, on a motion to revoke his probation. Mr. Shoemaker did plead true to violating his probation by traveling outside of the county. Just for the court's recollection or whatever, he was going on a cruise was the reason he'd gone out of the county. And at the last week when we had that agreement, I hadn't had at the time to speak with my client in person about everything outside of the courtroom.
Mhm.
And so that was the reason why we filed the motion to reconsider. I did want to address some things that we were not able to bring up at that last setting. So while he's been on probation, I'd like to actually focus on the last couple of years, because it seems like that over the last 2 years, Mr. Shoemaker has made substantial changes to his life to better himself and to become a better person. So while on probation, he has continued checking in with his probation officer. He's continued having negative UAs. And is kind of outside of probation, he has also worked on his becoming sober. And so I believe that he has a statement that he will make telling you a little bit about how he has become sober over the last couple of years. In addition to that, he is kind of improved his job situation so he can provide for his family also, Judge. And we do also have a couple of character letters, which I think can describe his, I guess, him outside of the court, outside of the criminal justice system a little bit better than I can do. So I'd like to present those to the court as well, Judge. Statements. But no objection to the state, Judge.
All right, the court will review the letters. All right.
And I believe that my client would also.
All right, you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Michael Paul Shoemaker.
All right.
I'd just like to say, last time I was in front of you a couple of years ago, I had asked you for some, I needed some help with my alcoholism, and you had had me do 90 and 90. And I just want to let you know, I did complete that and I have kept going on with that. So I think that has helped my sobriety. I just, I'm not gonna be any good if I'm behind bars as far as providing and taking care of all my responsibilities I need to out there.
All right, so here's my question.
Yes.
Why were you not thinking of that before you disobeyed the court's orders?
So I did talk to my probation officer about going on the cruise and I gave her the time, the dates and all that, and I never heard back from her. And I just, I don't really have I don't have an excuse. I didn't follow the order.
Probation? On this case, is there notation that he talked to his probation officer about going on a cruise? All right, thank you. All right, you may continue.
You know, I'm just trying to better my life and trying to make better decisions.
But see, that's the problem. You're not making better decisions. And your thought should have been that if I have not heard from probation back on my cruise, you could have came to court, probation officers here, and you could have said, hey, I sent a letter and talked to my other probation officer about going on this cruise, and I haven't had a word back. And you know what they would have done? They would have called that probation officer and they would have said, oh yeah, we're going to put that before the judge and see what she says. When you're on probation, this whole thing where it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission, that doesn't work when you're on probation. And not only did you go on a cruise or attempt to go on a cruise, they arrested you before you could go, but you were going with someone who had a protective order against you. So that's two things you did wrong. One, you were going on a cruise without the court's permission. And two, you were going on the cruise with someone that you were not supposed to be around because they had a protective order against you. And I understand that sometimes women will have a protective order against a guy, and then the next thing you know, they're back together and they're traveling or they're living together. And then something happens and that person calls the police. And then guess what? You come to court and say, well, I've been living with her. She was fine with it. You're not supposed to. Those are against the rules. Probation?
Yes, Judge, there was notation that Mr. Shoemaker asked for permission. And at that time, the CSO indicated that she wanted him to become more current on his fees and enrolled in his MRT.
See, and you hadn't even enrolled in your MRT, is that correct?
Well, I was getting ready to enroll with MRT and I had already gone through the list of them and I had one picked out. And I told my probation officer and she said to me the last time to hold off on signing up because she wanted to talk to you to see if I still needed the MRT class. So that was the last I had heard from her. She said,
All right,
"Hold
most
off."
definitely you need the MRT because you're not making rational decisions.
Correct.
All right. Any questions?
Nothing to say.
And Judge, I do believe that he is making better decisions than he was before. He has worked on his sobriety, and I don't know that he mentioned this, but after completing those 90 days, he did go through a sober living facility that he successfully completed. And he had been on parole and he successfully completed parole as well. So we believe that he is making better decisions than he was before. What we're asking for is we are asking for the court to follow the original agreement. However, since this court does have concerns about his ability to make good decisions, we're asking that the court does want him to work on that or enroll in something. There is a course, a cognitive behavior course that is outside of ISF, and we asked the court to order that instead of the ISF.
And what course is this?
I spoke with probation about it. It's 10 classes, 20 hours. I don't have more information than that, Judge.
Probation, what class is this?
It is a course that we I believe go through I believe it's through CATS, but it's a cognitive behavior course. It's 20 hours. And it goes for 10 weeks and it targets the thinking errors and standing cognitive issues.
Okay.
Additional information indicate it develops pro-social attitudes and behaviors.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you. All right. State?
Your Honor, the state would be in agreement. Previously, whenever we were here on this NTR, we did request something that was out of custody. It was 90 days, 50 days. Get into that. But we do think that this additional requirement will be helpful.
All right, thank you, State. All right, this is what the court will do. The court will reconsider, and the court is going to order cognitive behavioral courses through CATS. And I'll hold ISF in abeyance. Is there anything else?
Nothing from the defense judge.
All right. All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Shoemaker?
Yes, ma'am.
You need to start making better decisions. The state has agreed to this. You are looking at 10 years in the prison. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Everything from here on out that you do, you need to ask yourself if it could potentially result in you going to prison for 10 years. If the answer is yes, you should not do it. If the answer is maybe, you should not do it. Do not do this thing with the court where you are deciding that it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission, because that doesn't work in the criminal law world. You understand?
Yes, Your
All right. Is there anything else you need?
Honor. I don't believe so, Your Honor.
All right. And here's the other thing. That person you were going on the cruise with,
Yes, Your Honor.
there's a protective order against that person. I mean, that person has a protective order against you. You are not allowed, even if they say, oh, we're back together, everything's going right. You're not allowed to do that. If there's a protective order, which according to what I've received, there is, you need to speak to an attorney to see about getting that lifted if that person wants it lifted. But you are not allowed to be around that person. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are the parties ready on Bobby Gomez Rivera, the attorney? All right. It looks like some people are coming back in the afternoon. Mm. Hello. Oh, you want to speak? All right, everyone, just give me a moment. All right.
Almost there.
Everyone else, we're recessing at 12. If you have a case, you need to put it up here.
I'm ready for Jose Amador's. Roberto Andrade.
Jose Amador, come on down.
I told her we were ready. I told Norma said she set it up there. Because he's on the Zoom. Logged in.
His guy's RC Curtis. As I do this, I'll take that up. Okay, we'll grab the file and see where we are. All right, so Jose Amador, today, where we're in discovery, was that completed?
Judge, the state has just tendered a video to me that I have need to review. I haven't had a chance to review. I've seen a piece of it.
Okay.
I believe that that's maybe all the discovery the state has. I've inquired in regards to a particular officer, but in regards to the discovery that the state is in belief that they have, they've tendered it to me at this point. They do need to speak to the complainant in regards to resolving some of these cases. I think we should hopefully come to resolutions.
How much time do you need, state, to tender an offer?
It's really, I mean, we can make an offer anytime, Judge, but I think that he wants to review some
Right.
stuff, so I imagine like 2-3 weeks.
And my understanding is that Daniel needs to speak to the complainant. Because, there are some complainants.
All right, so you all will need to confer off docket. Your plea deadline date can either be July 22nd or July 24th.
Let's do the 24th, Judge.
All right, and is your client
I'm sorry, the 22nd.
22nd?
Yes, Judge.
And if is your client anticipating being released?
No, Judge.
All right, so we're gonna come back on the July 22nd. If your attorney wants you back there sooner than that date, what he'll do is he'll just request it and we'll put you on the docket. All right, is there anything else?
Nothing for today.
All right, Deputy Laura, we completed Mr. Amador.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Shoemaker?
Which, yeah, I was just saying back to looking up, see if you. They're Lithonia or whatever that range is. Yeah. I'm just such a sissy, I can't pull the trigger on the head like this. Thankfully.
Yes.
I know, I could do it myself. I just, I mean, the two.
He's up here, Your Honor.
Yes, yeah,
Right,
okay.
right.
We just,
And these I think are right there,
okay. All right, can you mute us? Roberto Andrade,
Yes, ma'am. He's right here.
come down. On this case, it's the plea deadline date.
Yeah, I've explained that to my client. At this time, he's not ready to take the state's offer.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date on Roberto Andrade. It is drug case, evading case, and violation of court order. How long do y'all expect this to last?
2-3 days.
All right,
Yeah, it shouldn't.
all right, so 2 days, and that includes jury selection. So if we select the jury on Tuesday, they'll probably be done by Wednesday.
Yeah, we get a full Wednesday in, Judge.
All right. But Sean is looking at me as though, really, really?
I can do on August 6th.
I'm actually gonna be out of town that week and the week following.
All right,
so-
let's do it. Are we able to do this in July or no?
I mean,
Justin's always ready for everything.
In lieu of my witness being available, Judge, I don't see why they wouldn't be.
Okay.
I don't know if they are or not, to tell you.
He said if his witness is available, they'll be able to go in July. Mr. Andrade, we'll put you for a July date. It may not go because there are other cases that are set before you. All right, what date? No, what date in July?
The only date I have open for them is July 9th.
All right, July 9th.
Okay,
And again, there are other cases that are ahead of you, so
okay.
they will go before you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Okay, this one, this has a dismissal in it. The violation of protective order. So he only has the two.
I think I have one to see.
Oh, awesome. All right, we'll take up RC Curtis. Is there somebody else? Because then we are going to take our break.
We have one plea judge that I'm going to get together.
Okay.
I thought the double L was good.
Yeah, it's 12.
She's trying to do this.
Are y'all thinking about Michelle when y'all say we can do this?
I gotta take the pill too.
Is it probation?
Yes.
All right, so Michelle, what we'll do is I'll take the plea and she'll have to come back in the afternoon so you can have your break. Okay.
Can I approach on a separate matter while we're waiting?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, signed everything. Try. I can put the votes in most of the time.
But we had addressed this with the court prior, and you had said if the state would agree to it, we would not need a hearing, so.
Mhm.
I tendered to the court a motion that I filed back in May. I changed the date, and the state is now
Okay.
agreeing to it, so.
Okay, the state agrees.
And it's marked accordingly.
Okay, so just so you all know, Norma said that there was a notice of appeal.
Cross that out.
in the system.
The state's agreeing to it.
Who did make his appearance.
Thank you, Judge.
There you go. Jennifer, even though that shows up as dismissed, it's still on the docket as not dismissed. Okay, awesome.
No, it's an active case. That's what it shows here. It's dismissed 2 weeks ago.
Norma, and we need to file on RC Curtis.
It like make a file and stuff. I don't know where she's gonna have it.
Mhm.
I don't know where she would have it.
All right, so Charles,
Yes, Judge.
on RC Curtis, I'm gonna excuse him for now.
Okay.
We're gonna have to come back in the afternoon. They have to find the file. It's somewhere.
I've got a 2 o'clock meeting with the family out of office.
Okay. Well, let's do
We're
this.
just checking in on, we're just letting the court know the appeal. We're just checking in on the status of the appeal.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do then, because you have something where you need to be, you have somewhere you need to be. We're gonna come back on the 24th or the 27th,
Of July?
June.
Okay.
Right.
Um, 27th, I'm here, full court on that other matter.
27.
All right, so we'll be back on June 27th. Let your client know, counsel.
Thank you, Judge. I will.
You're welcome.
May he be excused. He's on the Zoom.
Yes,
Okay.
he's excused.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right, Renee Esparza. All right, can you mute us, please? All right, stay. Torres. Court is calling 2024 CR 5145, State of Texas versus Missy Ann Torres. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Andrew Harris, Sablin.
Defense?
Robert Barron for Ms. Torres.
Are you Ms. Torres? Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge, and just for the record, we want the court to know her name is Missy Ann Torres, not Missy Anya.
All right. Missy Ann Torres, is that correct? Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes,
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
yes,
State any amendments to the indictment?
Being count one proceeding on counsel, Your
Without objection.
And then with regards to her name? Do you want to include an AKA?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and that AKA, I'm assuming will be Missy Ann Torres?
Yes, that's her correct name, Judge.
Is that ANN?
Yes.
It is.
thank you.
All right, any objections?
None.
All right, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes,
All right, off the record. So the scheduled drug y'all have, it says penalty group 1. So
Yes.
it 1 and it's 1 and 1B?
It's just one, Judge.
Okay, do y'all want to correct that? Is it 1 and 1B?
It is, Your Honor.
Okay,
At least according to version 19 of the Texas DPS
Okay.
offense code.
all right. Do you have any objections?
Don't judge.
All right. Did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then, did you understand the state is proceeding on count 2 of the indictment? And count 2 of the indictment is possession of methamphetamine, 4 to 200 grams. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Did you understand the range of punishment for this offense is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, and I believe she's competent to enter her plea and was legally sane at the time of the offense.
Ms. Torres, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you in this,
No.
to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, state is proceeding on count 2. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at 6 years in the prison, and they're solid on your application. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Judge.
State, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counselor, have there been any such motions?
There have not, Judge.
Then to the offense in count 2, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Stated in Exhibit 1 attachments, Your Honor.
No objection.
Did you review the waiver and appeal? The waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements, police reports, and laboratory reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Do you all want a full PSI on this? Because what I would need to know is, of course, whatever evidence or witnesses that would be presented to the court, and I need to know her criminal history.
Well, her criminal history is.
Well, no, the reason being is because there's an application for deferred adjudication. If we do a PSI, the PSI is going to take some time.
Right.
So if you all want to provide that information to me at sentencing, then it would be a matter of, if you have witnesses, when are you able to have your witnesses present?
We won't have any witnesses other than possibly Ms. Torres.
All right. So y'all want to come back in 2 weeks?
Sure.
All right. You want to come back in 2 weeks?
That's it.
All right. Ms. Ferguson, can we have this brought back in 2 weeks? All right. We'll be back on June 30th at 9 a.m. At that time, the court will make a decision on your application.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Have a good day.
All right, thank you, you too.
Finish up with the probation.
All right. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
You said June third?
Yeah,
That's a Monday.
All right, pass it back. Y'all will be here by yourself on Sunday. All right, we'll be back on July 1st. All right, everyone, we're taking our lunch break. We'll be back at 1:30. 1:30-ish.